Thanks for joining us in our yoga class today in beautiful Nosara, Costa Rica. You've probably heard Philippians 4:13, "For I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength." But do you know what leads up to Paul saying that in the verses before? I'm going to read out of Philippians 4, verses 11 through 13. It says, "For I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through him who gives me strength." The definition of content is being in a state of peaceful happiness or satisfaction. And this does not come very easy to us, as in our culture, we're always looking for the next best thing and always looking to move forward. But Paul says that he has been in need and he has had plenty, he's been well-fed and hungry, and in all of that, he has had contentment. This is coming from a guy who was imprisoned for his faith and experienced persecution unlike we have ever known. But even there, he had peaceful happiness or joy and satisfaction. How? Through Christ who gives him strength. God gives us joy even when it doesn't make sense, and peace when we abide in him. Complete contentment looks like saying yes to where God has us right now and finding joy in the place that we're residing. Being present opens the door for the blessing of today. Only then can we move forward with Jesus onto the next season. Today, while you're on your mat, I invite you to just examine your heart. Have you experienced contentment in the seasons of life that God has had you in? If you're following God's plan for your life, have you experienced peace with where God has you right now? And if not, invite Jesus into that walk. Allow him to show you a life of joy that can only be found in him. So go ahead and grab your mat and your water, and let's get started. Alright guys, we're going to get started today in a simple seated posture on our mat. Crossed at the ankles, hands coming onto the knees, rooting through the sits bones and sitting up tall through the spine. Roll the shoulders back and down away from the ears, elongating through the neck. And let's close the eyes and take 3 deep breaths all together. Inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, release it out. Inhale, taking a deep breath, bringing oxygen to the body. Open mouth, exhale, release. One last deep breath all together. Inhale. And exhale, drop the chin down into the chest and begin to roll out the neck to the right side. Opening up through each side of the neck. Inhale and exhale, reverse that roll, going the opposite direction. Inhale and exhale. Come back to center and roll the shoulders up towards the ears. Drop them back down, taking some shoulder rolls. Inhale. And exhale, opening up through the chest and through the upper back. And exhale, reverse those shoulder rolls, coming forward. Inhale. And exhale. Come back to center, and we're going to take the left hand over to the right knee and take a twist over the right shoulder. Gaze is coming all the way back. Inhale, sit up tall, and exhale, twist. Coming back through the center, switching to the other side, take the right hand to the left knee, and the gaze coming towards the back, planting through the left hand. Inhale, sit up tall in your twist. Exhale, bring the gaze just a little bit further behind you. These twists are really great for the digestive system and cleansing out the body. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, we're going to take the right ankle on top of the left knee and maybe holding on to that right knee or slowly letting it rest down onto the left foot, finding a double pigeon. Sit up tall, lengthening through the spine here again. Close the eyes and we're going to breathe into the hips. Inhale and exhale, and maybe you stay here today, or maybe you begin to walk the hands out away from the body, taking a little bit of a fold in your double pigeon pose. Inhale and exhale. Great job. One more deep breath here. And open mouth, exhale. Walk the hands back into the body if you are in your fold. And then release the right foot out long and come into figure 4 legs. So the left foot is planted into the right thigh. Square off the hips and shoulders towards the front. And inhale, reach the fingertips high. Exhale, slowly start to hinge forward with the hips and lengthening as you fold. Releasing down, maybe holding on to the ankle or the shin or the toes. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, fold down. We're going to take a little bit of a flow here, so as you inhale, come to center, plant the left hand behind the left hip, and then swing the fingertips back, lift the hips high, and open up the chest, reversing this fold, coming into a modified wild thing posture. And then exhale, slowly and gently release the hips down and come back into your forward fold. We're going to take that 2 more times all together. Inhale, come to center, plant the left hand, lift the hips, open up the chest, and exhale, slowly come down into your fold. Can you bring that chest just a little bit closer to that right thigh? And last time, inhale, come to center, plant the hand, lift the hips, lengthening through those right fingertips, open up the front of the body, and exhale, gently release the hips down and fold over that right leg. Taking another moment here to just breathe into this stretch. Inhale and exhale, come back to center. And then we're going to take our double pigeon on the other side. So take that left ankle on top of the right knee, and then maybe holding on to that left knee or gently releasing it down onto the right foot. Wherever you're at, close the eyes, sit up tall, inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Maybe you stay high or maybe you walk out the hands and start to fold in your double pigeon, either staying on the hands or releasing down onto the elbows. Close the eyes and breathe into the hip space. Inhale, inviting oxygen into the body to cleanse and restore the muscles. Open mouth, exhale it out. Great job. One more deep breath in. And exhale, walk the hands back into the body. Release that left foot long. Come into figure 4 legs on the other side. Right foot into the left thigh, squaring off the hips and the shoulders towards the front. Inhale, reach the fingertips high. And exhale, slowly start to reach forward with the fingers. And then releasing down over that leg for your fold. Holding onto the shin or the ankle or the toes. Inhale through the nose. Exhale it out. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold down. Slowly come back to center. Plant that right hand behind the right hip. Swing the left fingertips back. And lift the hips into your modified Wild Thing posture. Inhale, lengthening, and exhale, slowly release the hips down and fold back over that leg. Taking our flow on the opposite side. Inhale back to center, plant the right hand, lift the hips, lengthening through the fingertips. Inhale. And exhale, gently release the hips down and fold over the leg. Great job. One more time. Inhale back to center, plant the right hand, lift the hips, open up the chest, and exhale, slowly release back down and take your last fold over that left side, coming a little bit deeper here into this stretch. Inhale. And exhale, come back to center, swing the legs around, and come onto all fours for tabletop position. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, draw the belly button in towards the spine. And then start to find some movement in the spine with cat-cow. So as you inhale, drop the chest low, lift the gaze and tailbone high. Inhale. And exhale, chin to chest, release the tailbone down, arch through the spine for cat pose. Go ahead and take this flow with your own breath at your own pace, moving from one posture to the next. Inhaling and exhaling. Great job. Come back to center, tuck the toes, and slowly begin to lift the hips high, coming into your downward facing dog. And when you've made it, walk out the legs, bending one knee at a time, starting to warm up those hamstrings, finding some movement in the legs. Inhale and exhale. Bring the gaze towards the front of the mat and slowly walk the feet into a forward fold, letting the head hang low, and then grab onto opposite elbows, hanging in a ragdoll position. Letting the weight of the arms pull yourself a little bit deeper into this fold, lengthening through the spine. Inhale and exhale. Maybe you find a little bit of a sway from side to side in your ragdoll. Inhale, opening up through the lower back. This is really great stretch for the spine. Exhale out through the mouth. And then releasing the hands back down onto the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold down, slightly bend through the knees. Inhale, reach all the way high into extended mountain pose. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach high. And exhale, fold down, coming into your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot all the way back, and drop the right knee and toes down, coming into a low lunge. So maybe your hands are rested down onto the mat, maybe placing a block under the hands, or bringing the hands to heart center, or reaching them all the way high. Finding your version of a low lunge, whatever's comfortable for you today. But wherever you're at, think about squaring off those hips, slightly pulling the left hip back and opening up the chest towards the front. Getting a nice stretch here in the hips. Inhale and exhale. Great job. One more deep breath in. And exhale. Bring the hands to heart center if they weren't already. Take the right elbow over to the left knee and find a twisted low lunge. Inhale, opening up the chest towards the left side. And exhale. Think about pulling that right hip back slightly. We're just using the upper body to twist in this posture. One more deep breath in. And exhale. Come back to center. Heel toe the left foot to the outside of the left hand and come into your lizard posture, letting the hips reach down towards the mat. Maybe you stay planted on the hands today or on blocks, or maybe you come down onto the elbows if that's available to you today. Getting a nice deep hip opening stretch. Inhale and exhale. Great job taking it slow here today. One more deep breath in. And exhale, slowly heel toe that left foot back into the center of the body. Tuck the back toes and lift the hips high, coming into your pyramid pose. So both feet are pointed towards the front of the mat. And we're straightening both legs, getting a nice hamstring stretch. Inhale. And exhale again, maybe using blocks under the hands if that makes it more accessible. Inhale, half lift over that leg. And exhale, fold. Start to bend into that left knee and lift the hands high, coming into your high crescent lunge. Lifting the back heel away from the mat, let the hips come low, coming deep into that lunge. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale it out. Great job. One more deep breath in. And exhale, open up into your warrior two, dropping that right heel down, opening up the chest and the hips towards the right side of the mat, and lengthening through the fingertips. Inhale, extending here through the arms. Exhale, coming a little bit deeper into your lunge. One more deep breath in. And exhale, flip the front palm, take it back for your peaceful warrior. Opening up and extending through the left side of the body. Inhale. And exhale. Great job. One more deep breath here. Inhale. And exhale, come back through your warrior two, straighten that front leg, and slowly reach the left fingertips down into your triangle pose. Left fingertips are reaching high, maybe your gaze is down at the mat, or maybe it lifts high towards the right fingertips. Opening up through the left hip, inhale, and exhale. One more deep breath. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, rise back up into warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down, framing that left foot. Step it back to meet the right. And let's take a deep breath here in our plank posture. Inhale. And exhale. And then maybe keeping the knees high, or maybe you drop them down to the mat. Come down into your Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to breathe, maybe walking out the feet again in your downward dog. Letting the chest reach in towards the legs. Lifting weight out of the wrists and the shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, bring the gaze to the front of the mat and slowly walk the feet into a forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, fold down. Slightly bend through the knees. Inhale, reach the fingertips high. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, extended mountain. And exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, plant the hands, step the left foot back, and drop the knee and toes down into your low lunge on the left side. Taking your version of this lunge, hands on a block, on the mat, hands at heart center, or reaching the fingertips all the way high. Again, squaring off the hips and the shoulders, slightly pulling that right hip back. Inhale through the nose, breathing into this deep stretch. Open mouth, exhale it out. One more deep breath in. And exhale, bring the hands to heart center and take that left elbow over to the right knee, twisting in your low lunge. Slightly pulling that left hip back, just using the upper body here today. Inhale and exhale. Great job. Come back to center. Plant the hands and heel toe that right foot to the outside of the right hand, coming into your lizard posture. Taking whatever's available to you today, staying high on the hands or coming down onto the elbows. Close the eyes and breathe into this posture. Inhale and exhale, allowing your body to take this moment of stillness, to breathe into it, and allow the body to come a little bit deeper into the stretch. Inhale and exhale. Great job. Slowly heel toe that right foot back in between the hands. Tuck the back toes, lift the hips, and make your way into pyramid pose. Again, the toes are pointed towards the front and folding over that leg. Using blocks under the hands if that's helpful in this posture. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold down. Bend back into that right knee. Lift the fingertips high and find your crescent lunge. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper into that right knee, lunging a little bit deeper here. Great job. One more inhale through the nose. And exhale, open up the arms into Warrior Two, dropping that back heel down. Inhale, really finding a strong Warrior Two pose, lengthening through the fingertips, coming deep into your lunge. Inhale through the nose, and exhale, flip the front palm and take it back into your peaceful warrior. Inhaling into the right side of the body, lengthening here. Exhale it out. Great job. One more deep breath in. And exhale, coming back through Warrior Two, straighten that front leg and come down with the fingertips into triangle pose. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale it out. One more deep breath in. And exhale, Warrior Two pose. Inhale and exhale, cartwheel the hands down, framing that right foot, step it back and come into your plank pose, taking a breath here. Inhale, finding strength through the arms, and exhale, take your version of Chaturanga Dandasana, knees staying high or dropping to the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Walking out the feet or finding stillness with the heels. Breathe in your downward dog. Inhale. And exhale, maybe nodding the head yes and shaking the head no, letting go of any tension found in the neck. Inhale, look to the top of the mat and slowly walk your feet or hop into a forward fold. letting the head hang low. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, fold down. Slightly bend the knees. Inhale, reach the fingertips high into extended mountain, and exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the fingertips high, and exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips back, and come into a chair pose. So bending through the knees, make sure you can see the toes just slightly past the knees. Open up the chest, or maybe bring the hands to heart center, whatever is available to you today in chair. Inhale and exhale. Great job finding strength here in the body. Inhale and exhale. Bring the hands to heart center if they weren't already, and take a twist with that left elbow over to the right knee, finding a twisted chair pose. Inhale again, keeping the hips square to the front, just using the chest and the upper body to twist to the right side. Gaze at the ground or up towards the sky. Inhale and exhale. And we're going to make our way into a twisted high lunge. So maybe you start to lift that left foot away from the ground and step all the way back into twisted lunge. Or untwist your chair and step your way into a high lunge, bringing the hands to heart center and taking a twist in your lunge. Whichever movement is available to you today, find your way into your twist and really sinking the hips low into your lunge. Inhale and exhale. Great job. One more deep breath. And exhale, come back to the center, open up into Warrior Two. Inhale, lengthening. And exhale, cartwheel the hands down, step the right foot back, and take your vinyasa flow. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Maybe walking out the feet here. Inhale. And exhale, look to the top of the mat. Step your feet into a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold down. Slightly bend the knees. Inhale, reach all the way high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, extended mountain. And exhale, sink the hips low and come into your chair pose. Great job, coming a little bit lower than before. Opening up the chest. Inhale. And exhale, make sure you can see the toes past the knees. One more deep breath in. And exhale, hands to heart center, and take a twist to the left side. Right elbow coming to the left knee. Inhale. And exhale. And then maybe slowly lifting that right foot, stepping back into your twisted lunge, or untwisting your chair and stepping back into your high lunge, and then finding your twist. Whatever is available to you today, moving your body how it needs to move. Inhale. And exhale, squaring off those hips. Gaze is either down at the mat or up towards the sky. Inhale, one more deep breath in your twisted lunge. And exhale, come back to center and open up into Warrior Two. Great job extending here through the fingertips. And exhale, cartwheel the hands down, step that left foot back, and take your vinyasa flow. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Great job taking your last one of the practice, maybe walking out the feet, or maybe finding stillness with the heels. Reach the chest in towards the legs. And exhale, walk the feet up to a forward fold, and then slowly come to seated on your mat. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees fall out wide, and come into a butterfly posture. Sitting up tall, close the eyes, inhale, just breathe here into the hips. Open mouth, exhale. And then maybe you stay here, slowly start to fold down in your butterfly pose. Inhale and exhale. Great job. One more deep breath here. Inhale and exhale. Come back to center and slowly start to roll the back all the way down onto the mat. And when you've made it, pull the right knee into the chest. And we're just going to circle out that right knee. So pressing it forward, letting it fall out to the right side and back into the chest. Just take those circles for a moment. Inhaling and exhale. Reverse those circles, coming the opposite direction. Inhale and exhale. Use the left hand to guide that knee across the body. Open up the right arm long and find your supine twist, letting the gaze fall to the right side. Inhale and exhale, letting that knee fall down towards the mat as you twist. Inhale, one more deep breath. And exhale, pull the right knee back into the center and switch out the legs, pulling the left knee into the chest and then beginning to circle it out, pressing it forward, out to the side and into the chest. Inhale and exhale, reversing those circles, go the opposite direction. Working out that hip and the glute muscle. Inhale and exhale. Use the right hand to guide that knee across the body. Open up the left arm long and the gaze falls to the left. Inhale, opening up through the chest. Exhaling out through the mouth. One more deep breath in and exhale. Pull that left knee back into the center and release the toes long, finding your Shavasana pose. Closing the eyes and resting here. And as we finish out our practice today, I want to leave you with just 2 questions to rest the heart on. Maybe take some time to journal later. Have you experienced contentment in the life God has designed for you, even when there have been trials along the way? Do you feel like you're living the life God has called you to right now? Or are you living a life you have created yourself? God has amazing plans for our lives. He also provides our hearts with peace and satisfaction when we choose to walk with Him. If you have not experienced this, I encourage you to seek after His plans for you and invite Him into your daily walk. Jesus, we love you. God, we thank you for this time of moving and breathing with you and just taking it slow. Thank you for your truth. And thank you that you have a plan for our life, God. You have beautiful things in store for us, and it just takes our yes and our surrender. God, help us to find peace and joy and contentment in every season of life, no matter what it looks like. because those things are firmly set in you, so much that nothing can shake it from the outside. God, if our hearts are troubled or discontent, would you come and just speak your truth into our hearts and help us to experience your peace, Lord? We love you. We pray all these things in your name. Amen. Thank you guys so much for joining me today on your mat and in your practice, and I look forward to seeing you next time.